Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Strip by Sia, your podcast for strippers, sex workers, and all the fancy naked people in between. I'm your host, Steph Sia, aka Kimchi, a former exotic dancer, because I'm no longer dancing because no clubs are open and I'm now working a civilian job, so yay. Yay. It's not all as glammed up as it sounds like. It's pretty lame, but whatever, it is what it is. But enough about me. We got some cute little giggles here in the background. You're all probably wondering who the hell that is. So I invited Maya Banks onto the show today. Maya, say hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi. We have Maya joining us all the way from Washington. She just moved there over the summer, I believe, during this global pandemic.
Yeah.
Which is insane. But Maya, you're originally from BC, right?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in BC. Pretty much, I've lived everywhere. Port Moody, Coquitlam, Burnaby, Surrey.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm a true, lower mainland girl.
Definitely. And you're not just any ordinary girl. You were basically, from what I've found out from stalking you, former exotic dancer. This is why you're on the show. And now you have changed careers because now you're a bikini barista, which we're all going to get into all those details later. Like, what the hell does that even mean? But that's what I know from you. Again, I don't really know you. I just kind of sent you a DM and I was like, hi, I want you to come in the show. Please say yes. And you said yes.
Yeah, so pretty much I started dancing as soon as I was allowed. As soon as I turned 19, I was like, I'm going to become a stripper. So I started at the Paramount. I was there for about a year, and then I went onto the circuit, and then I worked the BC circuit. I dabbled into the Alberta clubs a little bit, and I dabbled into Winnipeg a little bit too.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I pretty much tried out everything, and like you said, I did become a bikini barista. I just moved to Washington, actually. What was it? August, September. So yeah, I guess summer, end of summer.
Yeah.
So basically a bikini barista in Washington, coffee is really huge.
Yes. Starbucks.
Especially in Seattle, Starbucks originated in Seattle.
Yes.
So there's just I've never seen it in Canada or in BC, but everywhere there are just these little, pretty much just drive-through coffee stands.
Yes.
Not just bikini stands, but just in general, there are coffee stands everywhere.
Yes.
And they're just little huts with a drive-through window, and you just go get your coffee and you're on your way. So some of them are bikini baristas. So pretty much we're just, beautiful girls dressed in bikinis or lingerie or fishnet costumes, whatever.
Cool.
And we just serve coffee.
Oh my God. So it really literally is a bikini barista. It's exactly what the name entails. Nothing crazy there. Nothing overly complicated. That's
no,
so cool.
We're just regular girls making coffee just like hoes, pretty much.
It's like Hooters, but for coffee.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Except for Hooters is a family-friendly restaurant.
True.
PSA, don't bring your kids through the fucking bikini stand. I hate that.
Oh my God.
There's been a couple times where people will come through with their
toddler?
Sometimes it's babies.
Oh
yeah,
my
sometimes
God.
it's babies, so it's not a big deal. But when it's a toddler,
yeah,
I'm just can you not
the biggest buzzkill ever.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to be sexy, and then now I just feel like a pervert and awkward.
Oh gosh. Well, we're definitely going to get into all the details, your likes, your dislikes, everything, all about it. Because again, as you said, I haven't really seen a concept like that in Canada. So I would love to get more detail on that. But we're going to rewind and go back from the beginning. So just because I want to get a little more detail and get to know you and get the audience warmed up to you. So You started dancing when you were 19. So it was something that you always wanted to do, or how did you fall into it?
Yeah, I can honestly say it's something that I wanted to do. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
was always a very, like, sexual being. Like, even as a kid, I always just loved being pretty and being sexy. And I remember being, like, a little girl and Beyonce's Crazy in Love came out.
Yes.
And she came out with that music video where she was doing, like, the twerk, the uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. And she was,
Yes.
like twerking, and I remember being really young, like twerking, and like I was just always very like I don't want to say I was slutty, but I was just a little bit like promiscuous as a younger girl.
You're risque.
So yeah, it was risque. So pretty much as soon like I just knew I wanted to. I remember being
Yeah.
18 and Googling like 18 plus clubs, and Paramount was the only one that came up because Paramount is actually the only club where you can start at 18 because there's no alcohol there.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I didn't start dancing at 18 because I was still living in my parents' house.
Okay.
And yeah, I was keeping it a secret from them. So I moved out when I was 19, and that's when I started dancing.
Right. And okay, yeah, I totally get that because we also, I mean, this is not something we discussed, but I kind of really mentioned it too, but you're half Filipino, right?
Yes,
And half
I am
black.
half Filipina.
Yes. Okay, so which side is Filipino? Because I'm also Filipino too, and my parents can be crazy. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so my mom is Filipino, and like anybody who's of Asian descent, like for the most part, your parents are pretty conservative,
Yes.
strict,
Religious, Catholic.
religious. Yeah, my mom's Catholic.
God.
I was raised in the Catholic Church. I'm confirmed. I went through 7 years of catechism.
Oh
like,
my God. Girl, I hear you.
yeah. And so I had like a strict Asian mom and then like a overprotective big black dad.
Oh my
So
God.
like there was just no stripping in that scenario.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. Oh my God. What a combo. Jeez.
Yeah. So
God.
and you know what? I hid it from my parents for like the whole 6 years pretty much.
What? How? How do you do
Because
that?
I know everybody was like, "What the fuck? How?" But because I wasn't living with them,
Oh yeah.
like
Okay.
they don't know what I'm doing on like a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And so before I started dancing, I was working at a dispensary in Vancouver,
Okay.
and so I just never told them that I quit. So like I wasn't lying.
No.
I just wasn't telling the whole
Yeah.
I was telling like half truths. So
Yeah. There was some truth in that. It just ended a long
Yeah.
time ago, but
yeah, exactly.
oh my gosh. So they never knew about your stripping career at all.
No.
Oh my God,
Um,
crazy.
I think that because my dad's pretty like, I wouldn't say hip, but like, my dad drinks and my dad smokes weed.
Yeah.
And, he's like, like he's, I wouldn't call my dad like a goody two shoes, you know what I mean? He's not
Yeah.
like stupid.
No,
So
no.
I think that he probably knew or had an idea, but just didn't want to talk about it because I know that there's times where I would leave. He would see like promo. I remember one time he's seen promo in my house.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I had like a huge like pile of lighters and he's seen it
God.
and like didn't say anything. And then I remember one time I moved and I couldn't bring all my shit into my new house, so I put a bunch of my old shit into my parents' garage.
Oh fuck.
And I had a suitcase of old costumes that, like, you know how like you don't wear costumes anymore, but you don't really want to get rid of them, even though you don't wear them.
There's a sentimental value to it.
Yeah, so I had like a suitcase full of like reject costumes that like I didn't want to get rid of.
It's memorabilia.
Yeah, and he's seen the contents of the suitcase.
Oh my gosh.
But still didn't say anything. So I'm like,
Wow.
You fucking know, but you just don't want to talk to me about it. I get it.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I have the same thing with my dad too. Like he's hip or tries to be hip. I think it's just embarrassing, but like it's cute. And
I think that's cute when they try to keep up with the times.
Oh, totally. And he's like, oh, what about my True Religion jeans? I'm like, Dad, that was like completely 10 years ago, but okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Filipinos love their name brands.
Oh my God, they do. And they liked all the logos. They want to make it known. Oh, look, I can afford this. And I'm just like, no one cares. But anyway. Conservative Asian parents, so much fun.
Yeah, you gotta love them though.
They do.
And then you know what? Like in like 30 years, it's gonna be us.
I know. I already feel like myself becoming my mom, which is like gross to me. I'm like, no.
Yeah, there are definitely times where like I catch myself acting like her, like doing things like her. I'm like, whoa,
what is happening? So, okay, what about, so do your parents know about the Bikini Barista thing, or is that more acceptable then? Or no? Okay, so nothing to do with sex work at all.
I just told them I'm a barista.
Which is true. It's true.
Yeah, you see, I don't lie, okay? I don't like lying. I just don't tell the whole truth.
Yeah, and that's okay. I think that's fine. I think it's a pretty safe way to go. So, like, you don't feel guilty. You don't have this thing hanging over your head, guilty conscience or anything like that. So you can sleep at night.
Yeah, and also, like, my mom, she worries a lot.
Yes.
Like, she's, like, such a worrywart, and I just know if I tell her that I'm, like, like, dressed like that, she's going to think I'm attracting, like, a certain, like, she's pretty much going to think that I'm going to get kidnapped and raped at work, you know, like.
Yep. I have the same thing. She's like, you're showing too much cleavage. I'm like, Mom, I literally don't have cleavage. Like, my boobs aren't that big.
Like, Mom, there's nothing to show, okay?
Literally.
Like, I'm fine. No, girl, I got the same problem, sure.
They have the best intentions at heart, so.
Yeah,
you can't really blame them.
But it's always like, there's no in between. It's always like at 100. If there's no in between 0 to 100, it's always 100. Like,
yes.
It's always the worst possible thing is going to happen.
There's no middle ground.
No.
So what about this whole move to Washington? Like, how did that unfold? Like, are you a dual citizenship, or how did that work? I'm like, you moved right in the middle of a pandemic. Like, what? Spill the tea.
So I am a dual citizen. Okay. My dad's American. My dad's from Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And so basically, the reason I moved is because there's like something that I like never talk about on my Instagram or at work, but I am a mom.
Yay! And I just heard him like a couple minutes ago before recording.
Yeah, he's so cute. But
super
you know, I prefer to keep my work life and my personal life separate. So
Smart.
when I got pregnant, I didn't like announce it. I didn't announce that I just completely, it was like personal for me.
Yeah.
So pretty much my son's father lives in Washington.
Okay.
And so basically when the pandemic happened, we were like separated for like 4 months.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh geez. That must have been so difficult.
So my son didn't see his dad for like 4 months, and it was really, really hard. And so I had already wanted to move because like bouncing back and forth, it was just like doing too much. Like I wasn't ready to make the full commitment of moving because, I just wasn't ready. I was still making good money. I loved my job. And I just wasn't ready to make the full commitment of moving. But when the pandemic happened and seeing my son without his dad for 4 months,
that's awful.
And then like on top of that, I lost my job because obviously all the clubs closed.
Yeah.
So when I lost my job, I was just like, you know what? Why not make a fucking move? Like, there's no reason for me to stay here and do what? Sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, at least my son can be with his dad, and at least I can, try out the Bikini Barista thing.
Yeah.
So I moved to Washington with the plan in my head to apply to become a Bikini Barista. because
Okay.
I knew that the clubs in Washington weren't open, and I knew it was like pretty much like the next best thing.
Right.
Um, so that was my plan all along, and luckily, it like I made it happen.
Ah, yay.
And yeah, so I pretty much just like spoke that shit into existence, and now here I am, a
And now,
bikini barista.
yeah, that's super cool. And that's like honestly, well, it's also a heartbreaking story too because like I can't imagine like being, I mean, with lockdown earlier in the year, not being able to see family, is awful. But actually, like being physically separated, like you can't even go into the country because the borders are closed. Like, holy crap, I cannot imagine that at all.
Yeah,
That
it
must have
was
been so
really
hard for your
hard, and
son.
I felt really guilty because before they closed the borders, my son's dad was like, bring him over here because they're going to close the borders and we're going to be separated.
Oh,
And I was like, no, because at the beginning of COVID, Washington had the worst,
yes.
had the highest number of cases at the
Yeah.
very beginning. So I was like, no, I'm scared. Like, I don't want Zion to get sick. I don't want to get sick. Like, this
Yeah.
probably isn't going to last very long. And so
Mm.
that was like a huge mistake me doing that because it's like still going on, you know?
Yeah.
And so I felt really, really guilty. Like I felt like it was like my fault.
Oh,
But
no, girl. No, no one could have predicted how crazy this pandemic and this whole year like like happened and how it rolled out, like I was in the same boat as you in the beginning. I'm like, oh yeah, like this will be done in like 3 months. Like it's
yeah,
fine. And then
no,
it
this
just
year's
wasn't.
it's like a write off.
Oh yeah, 100%. So yeah, but don't blame yourself. Like it's just like no one could have imagined that things would be this bad. And honestly, the numbers right now are even like at its highest, at least in Vancouver. I don't know if you're keeping up with the numbers, but it was like 800 cases last weekend, which is insane.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know how it is in Washington, but like it's getting
You know
crazier here.
what? At the beginning of the pandemic, I was checking that shit every day. I was
Yeah.
watching, the fucking Bonnie Henry
Oh my
briefing
god.
on the fucking news. I was on that shit every day, 3 p.m. or whenever the fuck it was. But, like, I'm over it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much, I don't know if it's, like, irresponsible of me, but I'm pretty much just living like there's no pandemic anymore. Like, other than, I still wear a mask, I
Yeah.
still social distance and stuff, but I'm just like not thinking about it. I'm not checking for it. Like, we're not checking
Yeah.
for you, coronavirus. Like, bye.
Bye.
Like, you're dismissed.
No,
So
I'm
no, I
with you on
haven't
that.
even been like looking at how many cases. Like, that actually is a little bit shocking hearing that there was 800 cases because I actually did not know that.
Yeah, it was like kind of disturbing. I'm just like, oh, this is like way worse than it was in the beginning of lockdown. Like at lockdown, our numbers were decent, but it's just like, okay, 200 something here, 260 on Saturday, another 200 something on Sunday. And it's just like, okay, I think Dr. Bonnie Henry was like, oh yeah, small gatherings of six are like almost not allowed anymore. Something like, I forgot what the recent update was, but like we can't even, like, I don't even know what's going to happen for Halloween. Like, this is when we're recording, guys, by the way. This is a little bit early, but we're recording before Halloween, and I don't think anything's going to be happening for Halloween anymore, basically.
Yeah,
So,
that's
it's
crazy.
pretty fucked. But, sidebar of a complete tangent. Anyways, back to sex work and bikini barista and all the things.
Yeah.
I tend to
We're
go
like
in
totally off
tangents.
topic.
Off topic, but it's still applicable, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so like bikini barista again, that's like a thing that is pretty unique, and especially in Washington because that's where it originated, and of course with the whole coffee culture over there, it's pretty big as you mentioned. Thank you so much for the history lesson there, by the way. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's super cool. Like I really like how it is because I have definitely seen those little espresso shacks or the little coffee huts and stuff. And then like when I saw your profile and you're like bikini barista and I like Googled it, I'm like, whoa, this is like actually a thing. This is super cool. So can you tell us how the whole thing works in terms of like, do they train you to be a barista? Do you already have to have coffee knowledge going into it? Or like, what are the details on that?
I think it probably varies from person to person, like who they hire, because like
Mm.
I didn't have any barista experience.
Oh my
Um,
god.
and so basically you do like a working interview. So you go and interview for like, well, okay, I don't know if this is how it is for everybody, but this is how I got the job.
Okay.
So I did a working interview. So basically I had to, wear an outfit and
Mm.
pretty much go work for an hour.
Yeah.
And so the girl who trained me, she like pretty much just like, like walked me through everything. Like, I don't even really remember like how it went. Like, so basically she would just like teach me how the machine, like how to use the grinder. So like where the beans come out.
Yeah.
And like, so she like taught me how to make a drink. And then like I would like take orders and then she'd like make me make the drink. And like, obviously I wouldn't be perfect at first, but
Yeah.
like how she worded it to me, she was like, "You're not stupid." Like she was like, "You're getting it. Like you're not stupid. Like there are some girls who are actually stupid and they just like don't get it." Like,
Really?
and
Oh, no.
yeah, like it's very simple, man. Like
Yeah.
you really like a drink is really just like flavor, coffee, milk, or if they want an Americano, then it's flavored coffee, water. Like everything
Yeah.
just has a formula. And then you
Yeah.
just have to like remember the formula. And then like the more you do it, you catch on. Like I'm filthy with coffee now. Like I'm like hella bomb when it like I wouldn't say I'm like hella bomb, but I just like I know like I'm comfortable. Like I know what I'm doing now, and it's only
Yeah.
been what, like a couple months.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, like it's really not hard. So yes, they do train you. Um, but I think, if somebody already has coffee experience, I think they'd probably choose that person over somebody who doesn't.
Right.
But like they do offer training, but it's not paid training. Like
Mm.
so they made me go in for however many shifts that made me feel comfortable. But so I think I did like 3 4-hour shifts,
Yeah.
not paid.
Mm.
And then I was good after that. But like you still get to keep your tips, but they're just not paying you like hourly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
What is like the pay structure for this too? So like does it all work? So you obviously get tips and that's probably where you get the most of your money, or like how does it work?
Yeah, so you do get paid hourly, like a regular job.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so you get paid with tips. They people tip crazy, like just because it's a bikini barista stand, like they tip so crazy. Like they'll buy like a $6 coffee and tip you like $20.
That's awesome.
Yeah, or like some guys will give me like $50 or like $100,
Oh
like,
my God.
and yeah, so.
So what about the dress code? Like, is there a guideline? Because you mentioned like there's some fishnet outfits or lingerie. Like, what are the guidelines? Do they tell you what you can and cannot wear? Or how does that all work?
Yeah, so like there are rules. You're not supposed to show your you're not supposed to show your areolas or your
Mm,
nipples and obviously like your vagina.
right.
Like you're supposed to wear pasties, but
Okay.
honestly, nobody does.
Let's be real.
Like, let's be real. Nobody is really. Well, I mean, some girls do. Like, sometimes if like your outfit looks cute with pasties, like then like you'll wear pasties. But
Yeah.
my titties be out. Like, like I don't like if. Okay, so I don't know if I posted this photo. So there is like a bra that I have where the boobs are cut out of it.
Ooh,
So like
I
my
like
boobs are out
that.
in the open. In an outfit like that, I will wear pasties.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
But
it's like
yeah,
hot.
but if something is already over my boobs and you can just see my boobs through it, then I probably won't wear pasties.
No, that makes sense. Because I feel like with pasties, it's like, okay, it's more like deliberate. And if there's nothing covering it, then that is the time for you to wear that. I mean, or like some kind of see-through-y, translucent-y kind of outfit, then I totally get that. But then, like, if you're already wearing a bra, then why? Why would you want to wear
Yeah,
pasties? I totally get
yeah.
it.
But like there are some like I always wear panties just because like I don't like people seeing my pussy for free.
Yeah.
Um, but there are girls who they'll wear like a fishnet dress or like a lace dress and like no panties. That's like pretty
Okay.
common.
Yeah. Okay. So, but obviously, like, no nudity. Obviously, you can't show your private parts.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure for any business they have a dress code and guidelines and stuff like that. Okay. Okay. So not too restrictive though. Like from what I've seen on your Instagram, it seems like pretty hot stuff. So, and if you
I
guys,
mean,
yeah.
I like to, and I feel like the more you show, the more guys are gonna like tip, right? And
Right.
like the sexier outfit, like the more effort you put in, like the more you're gonna get back, pretty much.
Of course. Well, it's just kind of like the club, though. Like, I think there's definitely some parallels there for sure. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
like if you're wearing some nice, like, flossed outfit, like, you might get might get more attention from the clients, I would say. Like, it's a pretty easy equation that
Yeah.
way, right?
Yeah. Pretty simple.
I guess, would you say, like, all the clients there, all the patrons are primarily male that
Yeah,
go in? Yeah.
for the
For the
most
most
part.
part.
I mean, you do get some females, but they're really just they're there for the coffee. Like they just want coffee.
Wow.
Um, I mean, of course, the guys come because they want to see something sexy as well. But
Right.
there are girls that come through and like couples.
Interesting. That's
Hmm.
really cool. And like, what are the hours of operation? Is it just like in the morning or is it like all throughout night or like all day or when do you work?
Well, it is like a coffee stand, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna want to tend to like people going to work in the morning. So
Right.
they open really early. I'm not sure about like it kind of varies from stand to stand, but the earliest I've started is 3:30
In the morning?
um, in the morning.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
the most common like the morning shift is usually 4 to 11.
Oh, wow.
So that's usually the morning shift. So yeah, we open at like 4. Most of them close at 8. In my area, there is one 24-hour stand.
Oh, wow.
But I think most of them are from 4 to 8 p.m.
Yeah. And would you say, obviously, because it's a coffee place, that the morning shift is probably a lot busier?
Yeah, so the morning
Yeah,
shifts are the best.
for
And
sure.
I feel like it's kind of like a seniority thing. Like
Hmm.
mostly like the girls who've been there for really long or the girls who make the most money usually get the morning shifts.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I've seen like you had a couple different shifts and like a couple different locations too. So they're all around, hey?
Yeah, they're like they have 40
40?
locations
Oh
in
my
yeah, in
God.
Washington
Whoa.
and they have some in Oregon too.
Oh, wow.
Um, and there's not just my company too. Like there's like a bunch of bikini barista companies.
I'm crazy. This is a
Hmm.
whole different world that I didn't really know about.
Dude, me too. Like there is really it's really its own little culture out here, but I like it because like excuse me. It's so I like nobody wants to be well, I mean some people might want to be, but I didn't want to be a stripper forever, right? Like I
Hmm.
kind of wanted to use it as like a stepping stone to get money, like stack up a good savings account
Yeah, for
and
sure.
help me get to my next step.
Yeah.
So like I I was kind of at a point where I was like over dancing, but
Hmm.
I wasn't ready to go to like a civilian 9 to 5. So I feel like Bikini Barista is like a nice transition because it's like not
Hmm.
exactly the club, but
Yeah,
it's not exactly a civilian 9 to 5, you know?
totally.
Yeah.
And the
But
hours are
now,
nice too.
sorry, say
Like
that again.
the hours are nice too. Like it's nice to not have to work like such a late evening. I mean, unless you get those super early morning shifts, but
Yeah, like I know the times where I was working at 4 a.m. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like I used to be going to sleep at this time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the tables have turned.
Yeah. And yeah, like so with my company, there are 3 shifts you can get like during well, I don't know how to. So like okay, Monday to Friday for most stands, it's going to be 4 a.m. to 11,
Okay.
11 to 3:30, which is called the mid shift,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3:30 to 8, which is the closing shift.
Right.
So usually 3:30 to 8 is kind of like the shitty shift because
It's pretty late to drink
nobody's
coffee.
really getting coffee at that time, right? But
Yeah.
when you start building your like regulars and you start getting your customers that like really like you and really want to see you, they will show out for you and come show up and still tip you anyways and come chat and stuff.
That's
So
awesome.
it's really like just like with dancing, like
Yeah.
well, actually, no. Dancing's different because you can go in there and like not know anybody and still walk out with like a rack. But with a bikini barista, I feel like having your regulars is really important.
Right. Did it take you a while to kind of get to know people and for people to get to know you? Because you've only been there for a couple months now.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that I'm still building my relationships, but
Mm-hmm.
I already have some like loyal customers that come to like wherever
Yay.
I'm at.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Like, what about, because I remember driving in the States before, back when we were allowed to still go to the States. But
Mhm.
these little shacks, like, they're really small. Like, is it just you and your colleague that are there? Like, it's really tiny. And, like, is there any type of security or anything? How do you guarantee your safety?
So you actually don't work with a colleague.
Oh, you
You're there,
don't?
yeah, you're there by
Oh,
yourself.
wow.
Yeah, so no, there's no security, but of course, like there's locks
Right.
and alarms, and you do have protection. So every stand has like mace or like pepper spray.
Yeah.
Um, and there are like safety protocols, like you have to lock the window after every customer.
Right.
Um, you have to, there are panic buttons that go like directly to the police.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just gonna be blunt, like this is America, we have guns out here. Like
Yeah.
I just went to get my like I just got my first gun.
Cool.
Um, yeah, so I just got my concealed carry permit, so I'm licensed to conceal a gun. And so I feel protected pretty much just from that.
Yeah.
Like, if anything happens, at least I have that to protect myself.
Hmm.
But honestly, and there's cameras, and the cameras go directly to the owners and to the police.
Oh, good.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So you feel pretty safe then working in the environment? Because I was just like, oh my gosh, if you're there working alone, like, that's really scary sometimes. Like, it can be, but that's
Yeah,
just
it
me.
can be. I mean,
Yeah.
during the day, I think it's fine. Sometimes at nighttime when I'm closing, I do feel a little bit sketched out, especially when I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Um, but just always have your hand on your pepper spray or like whatever protection you have. Like be on the phone with somebody when you're leaving.
Yeah, of course.
And so, yeah, I think like I don't know, like you never want to be like, oh, nothing's ever gonna happen to me. Like
Yeah.
always be on guard, but I wouldn't say I've ever really been like so scared that I don't want to work or anything like
No,
that.
totally. I mean, like, knock on wood, I really hope nothing ever happens. But of course, as females, we always kind of have to be on our guard, regardless if it's just not even going from work, but even just like walking down the street.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's our reality, which really sucks. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you shared that with me because I was genuinely curious about it. I was like, how does this work? Because, like, obviously, I don't know, like, I'm not just saying America is conservative, places are always going to be conservative. Even here in Vancouver, there's always going to be conservative people. Because obviously, like, I've done a little bit of research too on bikini baristas, and some people still think it's like a controversial thing, even though the concept has lived here for like 20 years or so, or however long that they've been doing this. But do you ever have any like people protesting outside, or like angry moms, or Karens of the world being like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with anything sex work related, there's always going to be like controversy just because, people don't want to let people live their life, like,
Yeah.
and like, I know that there's going to be like insecure women out there who are always going to hate on anything sex work related. So I just feel like the controversy is there just because it's sex work related. I've never heard of any sort of protests or anything. I have never experienced any sort of, anybody talking shit to me through the window or anything.
That's good.
I'm sure that there is, but I've only been here for 2 months. I'm sure that at some point I will experience that, but luckily I haven't had to cuss anybody out yet.
Yet.
Yeah. But out here I know that like a lot of the controversy comes from like I guess like there are, or how do I word this? I guess there has been some instances
Right.
where baristas are showing something a little extra out the window for tips.
Right.
And I guess that there was like some legality issues around that like made the news.
Yeah.
And so I think that a lot of people just have the idea that we're like prostituting out the window.
Right.
Which is like not the case.
No.
I don't think that anybody is sucking dick out their window. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, so, I mean, there might be some girls showing a little extra something, but that's like nobody's business except for that barista.
Yeah.
And, so.
Exactly.
There are some controversies, but I feel like that's something that you're always going to have to prepare for when you make the decision to become a sex worker.
Exactly. I was just going to bring that up next because, like, as sex workers, we're always going to be, like, thrown into the same pile. And there's only one skewed view that society is going to view us as. And basically, it's that we're all sluts and prostitutes. And again, there's, like, nothing wrong with that. But then at the same time, it's just like, okay, well, our work is legitimized, okay? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's going to take years and years and years for society to come around. So, it's hard to change people's minds.
I just really, like, when somebody wants to talk shit about my job, I just, like, don't want to hear it because it's, like, it's legal. Like, not even just, like, the barista job, but, like, even with stripping, like, it's legal.
Yeah.
I pay hella taxes.
Yeah.
I fucking go to work every day, bust my ass for like however many hours. Like strippers, some shifts are longer than your regular civilian job shift. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
I ain't never heard of nobody like in an accounting office or like for 12 hours,
Yeah.
So it's like it's not like we're still putting in like a hard day's work.
Absolutely. We just make more money.
Exactly. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to do this job? I don't get it.
Exactly. No, I completely hear you. I am so missing the money right now. And I'm just this is hurting.
When I first, I wouldn't even say quit because I wouldn't even consider myself a retired dancer. But there has been like periods of times where I'm like, I'm sick of dancing. I'm over this. I don't want to do this anymore. But now that I haven't been dancing for like 2 months, Like, I cannot listen to a fucking song without doing a routine on the stage in my head. Like, I miss it so much. But,
Oh.
like, another reason why I quit, though, is because I wanted to get sober.
Okay.
Yeah, it was starting to get really hard for me to even work without drinking.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
it's just not like, if you are not a healthy minded person, it's just not a healthy environment to be in every single day. And
No.
like, I got my demons, I got my mental health issues. So like,
Yeah.
I struggle with addiction,
Hmm.
and being an addict in that environment every day, like,
That's incredibly hard.
yeah, I think this break, or whatever you want to call it, was very much needed because I don't drink anymore. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
That's great.
I just recently started enjoying a glass of wine here and there again, but I haven't drank hard liquor in like 3 or 4 months now.
Wow. Congratulations. That's
Thank
incredible.
you.
Such good
Yeah, I
progress.
mean, I wouldn't like, I wish I could say, I'm completely sober, but I'm not because, I still drink wine. But
That's
yeah, the
okay.
hard liquor, yeah, I was just doing too much dumb shit, and it was just affecting me like super negatively.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard environment to be in, be surrounded in. Like, I had interviewed another girl, Natasha, who's a former dancer in Portland, and who's a friend
Hmm.
of mine too, but she had suffered from so much addiction to so many different substances. And she just one day was like, nope, quitting cold turkey. And she has not done anything since, except for now she's treating herself to like a glass of wine here and there, just like yourself. But it's hard. It's
Yeah.
not easy.
Yeah, that's super awesome that she was able to just stop cold turkey.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
really
mean, I guess
hard.
I kind of did too.
Oh,
But like,
wow.
I wasn't able to just stop cold turkey in the same environment. Like, I had to literally like get up and move to a different fucking country because because it wasn't just up. Like, I was like, I was like doing more than just drinking alcohol. Like, I was like, I had substance abuse issues too.
Yeah.
And since like, I think July, I haven't touched any substances.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
I think getting out of that environment, like, it was probably like 95% of what's been keeping me clean.
That's awesome. Yay, I'm so proud of
Hmm.
you.
Thank you. I'm
It's
really
something to
proud
be
of
proud
myself
about.
too.
You should
It
be.
was really hard.
Yeah, no kidding. And I mean, the transition over to Bikini Barista, I think it's a great way to kind of segue into, whatever else you want to do and getting out of what can be a toxic environment in terms of like strip clubs or any kind of
Hmm.
nightlife career. So there's nothing wrong with that. So
Yeah,
kudos
for
to
sure.
you.
Thank you.
No problem. And I guess with that, we can transition over to some Q&A because there was a few questions that came here from your fans. So let's
Okay.
get into
Love my
it.
fans.
Yeah, they're great. I guess the first one is, what do you miss most about BC?
I miss being around my people, like
Yeah.
being around my friends and my family, and like, like like just like the people at the clubs and
Yeah.
my fellow dancers. I just miss being in a familiar environment and like feeling at home. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes I do feel a little bit, I wouldn't say out of place out here, but just like unfamiliar.
Well, it's
Like,
new.
there's no place like home.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, has it been hard for you to connect and make friends, and especially during the time of COVID?
Um, Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't really made any friends. Like, I've made a
Hmm.
couple through my job. Like,
Yeah.
some of the other baristas have been really nice, and like we will chat on Instagram and like through passing at work, like if they're getting off and I'm starting and stuff.
Yeah.
But there has been some girls where I'm like, babe, like we should get drinks, like let's go for dinner, but like I feel like it's just like so hard for people to keep plans like nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know. And me too, like I'm really bad at keeping plans too. But I already have like my people out here, like my family and family friends and stuff.
Yeah, it's a really important.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't really made any friends, but I'm not like friendless. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. And honestly, it's such a weird time of weird year to even try to make any connections and friendships, just because I feel like most people are just kind of apprehensive about even like communicating and getting close,
If anybody wants to be my friend, I don't have COVID. I promise. I'm just kidding.
I love that. That's so great.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It definitely is like a tough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone like dating right now. Like.
Oh, people are doing it. I'm pretty
are.
Sure.
Oh, they are. It's just like there's so many things that I would have to think about in terms of like. Yeah. And you don't know where the people have been.
Is the dick worth getting COVID?
Most of the time, no.
Yeah, most of the fucking time, absolutely not.
No. What about this one here? What are your weirdest bikini requests, if you've gotten any?
Oh my God, just a couple days ago, a guy asked me if I sell used tampons.
Oh my God.
And like, I told him, yeah, like I took his number and I was like, I'll call you when I have my period. But I'm just really curious as to what he does with them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, well, blood play is one thing, a different kind of blood play. But in episode 1, and I think I can't remember now, in season 1, I had a dominatrix who came onto the show, and one of her clients liked playing with her blood, but like vaginal, like menstrual blood. So she would make tampon cocktails for him, in terms of like she'd make him suck her tampon dry.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to her. Like, that's great. If you can work with that and like whatever kink that is, cool. Like, there's so many kinks. I can't even keep up. But yeah, so that's one thing I could think of, and probably the only thing. But I've had questions about like other types of blood play, so I'll probably have to try to find a dom that offers that, because it's so niche, right? It's just something that you like never hear about,
Yeah, it's not too common, and that's why. Yeah, I thought he would probably be like sucking on it or
smelling it or something.
Things. Yeah, smelling. I don't know, but I told him that like I was willing to, so. I'll keep you guys updated.
I was gonna say
I'll post on my Instagram story. I'm gonna ask him, because I felt kind of shy asking him. I didn't know if that was like an invasion of privacy or not.
No, I think it's honestly, you're just being curious. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an honest question. So I'm gonna have to like follow up with you and be like, so is it your period yet? Because I want to know what happened.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely keep you guys updated, because I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Looking forward to the update. Is escorting in your future?
No.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm not into escorting, no.
No, and good for all the people out there that do that, because they make mad stacks doing escorting. So
yeah,
I am jelly.
No disrespect, like some of my very best friends are escorts, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for all different lines of sex work. But it's just personally not for me.
No, that's okay.
I'm just too like sex is just too personal for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Cool. Where and how do we find your schedule, I guess, for work?
Oh, I post them like every day. I post my so every Mondays when I get my schedule, Monday evening. So on on my Instagram story every Monday evening, I'll post my full week schedule, and then every day I post where I'm at as well.
Cool.
Pretty much anything about me or my whereabouts or what I'm doing, it's always going to be on my Instagram. Like, even if I decide to do a tour in BC or in Alberta and dance for a few weeks, like, it's always going to be posted on my Instagram.
Okay. Okay, so that person's obviously not following you. So whoever that is, go follow Maya.
Yeah, what the fuck is he doing? Follow me.
And don't worry, at the end of the show, we are going to plug in all the links and stuff too. But there's just a couple more questions to go. So stay tuned for the plug. So have you ever considered coming to Bosnia? I guess you have a fan in Bosnia.
Bosnia.
Yeah.
I cannot say that I've ever considered it, but I mean, if you're trying to fly me out to Bosnia, hit me up.
I've been to Bosnia. It was awesome. Food's great.
Really?
And the guys were hot, so.
Yeah, definitely hit me up. I'm trying to go to Bosnia.
When the borders open again.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, I keep forgetting about that. See, I'm telling you, I'm really living like there's no pandemic.
But that's a good way to live, like, in terms of, like, okay, you don't feel so heavy, in terms of, like, oh, my God, this whole thing is weighing me down, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a good outlook. You know, you've adapted, so.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question here, and I guess you kind of answered it, but if you want to answer more detail, you can. Will you ever dance in BC again?
Yes, of course. Honestly, I'm kind of just like waiting for the pandemic to pan out because I know that there's only 2 clubs open right now.
Yeah.
And like there are girls who really cannot work right now.
Yeah.
And like I'm over here working and like making good money. So like I would feel really shitty if I like took up a spot on a lineup from like a girl who like hasn't worked in like a couple months, you know what I mean? So I'm probably gonna wait for the pandemic. And then, I still plan on working like at least a week every couple months.
Okay, cool. So we'll have to keep up to date with you. And obviously you can do that on your Instagram because now is the time to plug everything. So repeat again for the audience, please. Where can we find you?
So my Instagram is at The Real Black Barbie, and Barbie has 2 eyes in it. That's pretty much the only platform on social media I have. I did have a Twitter. I deactivated it when I quit OnlyFans, but I'm going to start all that back up again.
Ooh.
So, yeah. As of right now, you can just follow me on Instagram and just, like, stay tuned for my posts because I will be posting within the next few days, like, my new links and stuff.
Oh, awesome. I'll be sure to get that because this is going to be airing later in November. So, yeah. But that's it for today, guys. So don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to write a nice little Apple review if you liked it. I want to hear your feedback. And it's Strip by Sia on Instagram, as well as my personal Sia Steph. And we'll catch you guys in for another episode next Sunday. Thanks, Maya.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye. You're listening to Strip by Sia, hosted, produced, and edited by Steph Sia, artwork by Maria Bellandarama, music by Ted D, and photography by Ian Dabber.